Found a nice fresh scrape. There's another one over here, right next to it. I think they would do most of their scraping at night though. But it means they're in the area. On that and broke the limb.
What'd you shoot today?
Man, there's light out or leave it on.
You leave it on.
Now I was sitting at the shooting house on our food plot up here in Berrydale, and I had a bunch of does come out, and they fed for a while, and then a little spike ran them all off. He sat there and fed, and I said, all right, but I still had plenty of daylight left, and then he left, and finally a couple more does came out, and about 15 minutes prior to 4:45, and in the shooting light's 5:35, whatever. But I see his deer coming out, heading toward the does again. I'm thinking, well, here comes that spike. But just coming out here to check them out, and got my binoculars on him, and it's like, son of a gun, that's no spike. Really wasn't sure how big he was, but I mean, he had good antlers. I knew he's legal. And so I pull up my my Weatherby 270 Magnum, and didn't really put a good shot on him. I meant to hit him right behind the top of the shoulders, and it was probably about another 8 inches further back than I was aiming. I don't know if that was me or what, but deer ran off, and I couldn't tell where he went. He didn't hit the ground, he didn't buckle, he just took off like a rocket. But there's 4 deer, and they all went in different directions, and I'm like, well, let him sit there for a little bit. Then I went down there and looked, nothing. Couldn't find a drop of blood, anything in the field. So I started circling the field, looking at the trails and stuff where I thought the deer ran in. Couldn't find a thing. So I went to the trail where I thought he came out, nothing. I said, son of a gun, I mean, I'm just a bad shot. So I went back to my truck, got something to drink. I came back, starting to get a little bit darker then, and I went to where I thought I shot him, nothing. And so I said, well, I'll start again right where I think he came out, and I found this blood splotch on a leaf. I said, all right, I've hit him. How good a shot, I don't know. Still could not find blood. I mean, I'm looking all through the trail trying to figure out, but from the feeder to where I found that blood was where the trail he came out. So I said, well, I'm just gonna follow that trail. And sure enough, about 10 yards in, I found another blood spot. So I was pretty confident his direction. And the problem with the woods here is you can't walk through them, you gotta crawl. And I'm crawling and finding little spots of blood. About 35 yards in, there he was laying. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I'd already called a guy with a dog to come out here, thinking, well, it's gonna be one of those nights. And but I found him, and he's a good deer, big deer. I couldn't drag him out by myself. And a nice 8-point, big body. Anyways, it was a good evening here in Berrydale. Well, I can't tell you exactly where though.
Let's go see him.
All right, I'll drive my truck over there. Man, oh, I got the cap on. Bloopers. How he shows up. I mean, he still shows up. I got on a white hot, and it was the woods were so thick though. I tried using the spotting scope to see if I could find him. And the woods were just so thick, but he shows up plain as day right now. With this spotting scope, if the trees weren't so thick, I think I could have used this to find him.
Mm-hmm. that again?
We're here at the Camp Odahite cleaning station, Baker, Florida. He may touch the ground. Son of a gun.